Level 1. $0. At $0 in debt, you feel untouchable. No loans, no car payment, no student debt hanging over your head. You tell people, "I don't believe in debt," like it's a personality trait. What you don't say out loud. You also don't have savings. You don't have a credit history. When you tried to rent an apartment last year, the landlord looked at your file and saw nothing, and nothing, to a landlord, looks a lot like risk. Zero debt isn't freedom. It's just an empty page. The story hasn't started yet. Level 2. $5,000. A credit card for emergencies that quietly became a credit card for everything. A buy now, pay later split on a couch you needed, technically. At this level, you're still in control, or you think you are. You've started doing the math in your head before you buy coffee, not because you can't afford it, because some part of you already knows where this is going. The minimum payment shows up every month like a text from someone you're avoiding. You pay it. You feel briefly virtuous. You forget that minimum payment was never designed to get you out, it was designed to keep you in, just comfortably enough that you don't panic. Level 3. $15,000. Now it's not one card, it's two. Maybe a personal loan you took out to pay off the first card, which, if you think about it for more than 5 seconds, is insane. You borrowed money to pay off money you borrowed. This is the level where your phone becomes dangerous. Not because of what's on it, because of what's not. You stop checking your balance in the morning. You start checking it at night, after a drink, when you can pretend you're being responsible by just looking. Friends start talking about buying houses. You start talking about interest rates like you're fluent in a language you never chose to learn. Level 4. $30,000. Something shifts. This is usually where the student loans join the party. The ones that were an investment in your future, now quietly compounding while your future gets smaller. You've done the spreadsheet. You know exactly how many years this takes if nothing goes wrong. You also know, somewhere in your chest, that something always goes wrong. A comment section made a joke about this once. The penalty for being broke is being more broke. At 30,000, you finally understand what that means. Every fee, every missed date, every overdraft, it doesn't punish the rich. It's engineered for people exactly where you are. Level 5. $50,000. This is the number people stop asking you about, because deep down, they don't want the real answer. You've started using phrases like, "it's manageable," a phrase that has never once made anyone feel better, including the person saying it. Your credit score has become a mood. Good week, it goes up 11 points, and you feel like a functioning adult. Bad week, a late payment shows up and takes your whole identity down with it. At 50,000, debt stops being a number on an app. It becomes a filter over every decision. New job offer? First question, does it pay enough to move the needle? Trip with friends? Math, silently, before you even answer. Level 6. $75,000. Now the debt has a name you avoid saying out loud, because saying it makes it real in a way the number alone doesn't. This is the level where you start Googling things at 1 a.m. that you'd never admit to a real person. Debt consolidation. Is bankruptcy actually that bad? How do people just disappear and start over? You don't do any of it. You close the tab. You go to work the next day and answer, "How are you?" with "good, you." A lie so automatic it doesn't even feel like lying anymore. Level 7. $100,000. 6 figures. There's a strange psychological cliff here. The number itself starts to feel abstract, almost fictional, like it belongs to someone else's life. That's not an accident. The human brain isn't built to feel the weight of numbers this large the same way it feels a $20 bill leaving your wallet. So you adapt. You compartmentalize. You get good, scarily good at living a completely normal-looking life while carrying something this heavy. Nobody at work knows. Your parents don't know the real number. You've become fluent in fine. This is also, statistically, where a lot of people quietly start a second income stream, not for extra spending money, but because one income and 6 figures of debt do not, mathematically, share a future. Level 8. $150,000. At 150,000, debt collectors stop being a hypothetical. Maybe it's a hospital bill that snowballed. Maybe it's a business that didn't make it. Either way, this is the level where the letters change tone from reminder to final notice to, eventually, someone else's name entirely. A collections agency you've never heard of, who now legally owns a piece of your future income. Here's the part nobody tells you. At this level, the debt starts talking back. It shows up in how you sleep. It shows up in relationships, the ones that survive money stress, and the ones that quietly don't. Studies on financial stress consistently link this level of sustained debt anxiety to measurable increases in insomnia and relationship strain. And if you're here, you already knew that without the study. Level 9. $200,000. This is the level most people picture when they picture drowning. But the truth is quieter and stranger than that. You don't drown all at once. You adapt to the depth. You learn to breathe down here. At 200,000, some people are one bad month from collapse. And some people, the ones who actually make it through, are running a business, holding a mortgage, or funding an education, and they're going to be fine, because the debt was a tool, not a trap. The number was never the whole story. The real question was never how much do you owe. It was always, does this debt own you, or do you own it? So look back at where you started. $0, and you thought that meant you were ahead. You weren't ahead, you just hadn't been tested yet. Debt isn't a moral failure, and it isn't a badge of honor. It's a mirror. It shows you exactly how the system is built, and exactly how good you've gotten at surviving it quietly. If you saw yourself somewhere in this video, you already know which level. You don't need me to tell you.